Welcome to the Women2Women Podcast, where we talk about real life stuff, like what is your favorite mascara, how to show up the very best you can for both your career and your family, and even the very best strapless bra. We leave our titles at the door and spend an hour once a month just being women. Welcome, and we are glad you are here.
Today is 18 years at WAVY for me. I started as the weekend reporter, and then I became the morning reporter, then the dayside reporter, then the weekend morning anchor, and the weekend evening anchor. And then for the last 13, 14 years, I've been the morning anchor here. So it has been a journey, and I climbed that ladder and just hung on for dear life. So thank you for hanging in with me for the past 18 years. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm still loving life here. So here's to many more years here at WAVY TV and Fox 43.
I'm born and raised in Chesapeake, so most folks know me in Chesapeake, and so it was always very particular in how I had to show up. And for the first time in my life, the first Women2Women lunch we had, I just showed up. It was like, I'm recently separated from who I was with since I was 15 years old. And I'm scared. My kids are acting out. I have a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old. I don't know what I'm doing. And I would have never done that prior to that. So the vulnerability piece of it was scary for me. And then it opened up a bunch of women sharing different perspectives that made me a better leader, mom, things.
Yeah, it makes such a difference when you have, when you're able to finally sort of let that, that shield down and be like, okay, we're all in it together. And, Ashley and I were talking, and there are these stereotypes that are so untrue of women. I feel like, I know that in some cases it's true, but I feel like more often than not nowadays, we really do want to see each other succeed. So we really do want to pull each other through the trenches and get out to the other side. And you feel good. Like, I'm happy when the people around me are happy. So if people around me are successful, I feel good. So you want to help someone who's going through that. And so I think it's nice that you were able to kind of really grow this group of women to help other women out, because we need more of that for sure.
Definitely.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, it is.
All right. So we are so excited today to have Collett. Now, if you don't know who that is, you don't watch the news, and that's a bigger problem. So Katie is the anchor on WAVY TV 10. And we are blessed to have her here at the Women2Women podcast. And Katie, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Sure. First of all, hi, Ashley and Nicole. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here. I don't know if you know, but I love to talk. So this is perfect. This is what I do. I'm the morning anchor at WAVY TV, and I am also the host of a podcast for our new platform, WAVY Plus, that is streaming on several different services. And that podcast is Parenting Unscripted. And it's as it sounds. The parenting is not scripted, and you just kind of fly off the cuff with it. So I've been having a good time interviewing a lot of different moms, dads, pediatricians, psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, all throughout the community. So a lot that I do at the station, but then I'm also a mom of a just turned 12-year-old boy. And I'm married to my wonderful husband, Will. And I have a dog, Ollie, Corgi.
I love seeing Ollie's pictures on your Facebook.
He is so much fun. And people are always like, oh my gosh, he's such a sweet dog. He is one of the spiciest dogs in the world. Like, he's great with us, but he, when he gives you a side eye, you best back up.
Yeah.
He's no longer impressed.
He had a pup cup the other day, Nicole.
He did. Yeah, he very much so enjoys the pup cups. It's like his whole little butt wiggles when he realizes that we're just about at that drive-through.
That's so cool. So tell me, journalism is something that I've always been interested in. I think it's so cool to be a part of. When did you decide, or what told you that journalism was going to be where you found yourself in your career?
I was in my late teens. I was in high school, and I was trying to figure out, I feel like so many of us wanted to be marine biologists when we were kids. I don't know if it was because of the Free Willy movies or what it was, but I was like, I want to be a marine biologist. And then I realized that biology was not my strong suit. And speaking of my dog, I realized that biology was not my strong suit. So I was like, I'm going to do more harm than good to the ocean animals.
So I started to try to figure out what I was really good at. And I realized that in school, I was one of the kids where when my teachers would say, okay, we're going to do oral book reports, or we're going to get up in front of the class and give a big presentation, I was stoked. I was like, this sounds like the greatest thing in the whole entire world. So I really enjoyed doing that. And I was a basketball player. I was in drama club. I was in track. I was in volleyball. So I was always doing things in front of people. And I was like, what can I do that puts all of this together? Because I love to be in front of people. I enjoyed it. And I was like, wait a minute, what about journalism? And I wasn't sure if that would work, because I'm from a super, super small country town. Tiny. I cannot emphasize enough how small my town is. So I was like, do we do this? Like, can we do this here? And my family's like, my parents were always like, you can do whatever you want. Yes, you can do that. So I did it.
Wow.
And here we are. But yeah, it was just kind of like I was really great at talking. God bless my teachers. And the studying and learning about people and interviewing people, it just all really came naturally to me. So it's just always something I really wanted to do.
That's amazing. And I'm also the girl that got Ashley is really smart, but talks too much on my report cards all the time. Actually, there's
Mhm.
two young ladies that are in Women2Women with us, and we were in first grade together. So the
Yeah.
three of us were in first grade, and they all are like, remember when you used to talk a lot? I'm like, remember? Down.
Never
So
stop.
I never stopped. I always had something to say. So
Yeah.
that's really cool to find your place and what you're passionate about at such a young age. I know so many of us have children that are in that season of life right now. Mine just graduated college in May, my
Mhm.
oldest. The youngest is going to graduate high school, hopefully next year.
Yeah.
And I know Nicole's daughter is just starting to like find her passion in high school and some of the sports and stuff like that. And being able to be a woman and finding your passion at such a young age and then having so much life to live, that's so cool to be able to have that, and the opportunity. Nicole, you kind of did the same thing. I mean, you've been doing what you do since you were young.
In title. Well, is that what you're speaking to? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
settlement? Yeah. Well, I graduated high school and went into banking. I just always knew I wanted to work with people. I like people. I think
Yeah.
we all three share is the enjoyment of people and learning more about them and learning about things. But yes, I definitely knew it needed to be people centered
Yeah.
and something to where I'm helping and learning.
Yeah.
So, Katie, what do you think I'm really curious about this. What do you think that um, the thing that's most misunderstood about women in media and women that are forward facing like you are?
Mhm.
What do you think that is like the one thing that if you could tell everyone, what would you say that would be?
Well, I would say that there are actually two things. One, it's that we are unapproachable divas. For the majority of us, that's not true. We're actually quite friendly and approachable. And if you meet someone in the news who is not friendly and approachable, then figure out what station you're watching and if you actually want to watch that one. Because if they don't seem like they're a good person in person, do you really want to listen to what they have to say on the news? And the other is that we are competitive with one another. We are competitive people, yes, but when my colleagues succeed, I succeed. So we are not usually trying to steal each other's jobs. Like, I'm not concerned about someone coming in after my job. I have my co-anchor, Kiana Patterson. When Kiana was named my co-anchor after Aisha Tolliver went to the midday and the 4, 5, and 6, I was not worried about Kiana coming in and trying to come at my job because it didn't make sense for her to do that. That's not really how it works in our industry, at least not in our market size. So we can just be friends and we can work and help each other succeed. So those two things for sure. We're actually pretty nice people usually, and we are not trying to slice each other's throat to climb over top of the other one to try to get even higher up. at our TV station, because that's just not how it works.
Yeah, that's so, so important. I know for me in real estate, a lot of times people, and there are, you, in every industry, there are those people, but the reality of it is, it's so nice to have, especially women that you can go arm in arm with that do the exact same thing, because we always say us realtors are a different breed. And I'm sure you guys probably feel the same way, because you're kind of nocturnal in some sense, like you're up really early.
Oh yeah.
So like there's things that you guys do that another person that doesn't do it doesn't understand. And so it's so nice to be around people that do understand that kind of stuff, and it's not competitive, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what I always tell, like, let me teach you this. I know this really well. Don't reinvent the wheel. I mean, you're going to you're going to practice it different than I do.
Yeah.
So, it's so nice when you're in an environment like that. So,
Yeah.
I know having you forward facing so much, it has to be really hard to keep boundaries in relationships too, because everybody probably thinks you're their best friend. They spend their mornings with you every day.
Yeah. It's so tricky because, you meet so many people along the way. And I know in both of your careers too, you obviously do. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking. I apologize. Our shark is moving across the floor, and I didn't know that it was set to run today, and it's Ollie's nemesis. And so now he's trying to attack this device. But welcome to being a working woman. I thought I was doing something great, and now my dog's trying to attack a vacuum. I'm watching it, trying to figure out how I can shut it off, and I can't without leaving right here. So we're just gonna let her go. See how it is. Sorry. I'm trying to think of the question now because I got sidetracked by my dog distracting us.
That's okay. Nicole, you were going to say something, maybe?
Well, I just want to say in regards to working alongside folks and what Katie was saying in regards to not, actively looking to take each other down or climb on top of each other. I think it's recognizing that you're in the same sandbox and facing the same challenges, and then recognizing that collaboration only helps both, and that sharing your skill set doesn't take it from you, and they're going to do different than you do. No one is you. So just acknowledging that sharing allows them to, like Ashley spoke to, gain a skill or an awareness of a skill sooner than later. And they're going to adapt it to their own personality traits and strengths, and do it in a very different way that attracts a very different audience, because we relate to people, not, we each have different things that attract different people.
Well, think of spaghetti sauce
in yourself.
Yeah, like spaghetti sauce. We all love spaghetti sauce.
Yes,
We make it a little different, but it's the same thing. Some people put mushrooms in it, some people don't. You know what I mean? And you learn those things along the way, being in relationship with other people. I didn't have a mom. My mom was addicted to drugs growing up, and all of that. So I always tell everybody, I am the sum of about 10 really amazing women that I had in my young adult life, that I was like, I really like this about her. I really like this about her. And I just grabbed what I liked, and that's what I am. I'm a tapestry of all these women. And I think, if you have that environment where you have a community where you can say, listen, this is your strong suit, and teach me everything you know about that. And I can be better at that. And then I can get this from Katie, and this from Nicole, and this, like that's where we really get to be the better version of ourselves, the 2.0.
And I just say, I like the spaghetti sauce analogy. Like, that was a good way to relate that.
Thank you.
That was very good. And I remember now that I was distracted by the vacuum, I also remember what we were actually talking about, which was, people feeling like they know us as soon as they see us, and how you handle that. And one of the things that I find the most challenging is because we do meet so many people. I know in all of our careers, with my job, there'll be people who will come up to me and they do know me, but I don't see you back, on the TV screen. So I'm like, oh my goodness, did I meet them somewhere, some other time? And I never want to be rude, but then a lot of the times I'm like, have we met? And then they're like, oh wait, no, we actually have not met. And they're like, oh, okay. And I feel better about it. And then, and then we can chat. But one of the challenges is too, that when I'm developing friendships with people, you do, at least in my business, have to try to figure out, are they trying to be a friend of mine to use me for a reason? Or is it because they genuinely like me and want to be my friend? And I can usually figure that out fairly quickly. And then, because if it's someone who is just constantly asking me to cover a story, or someone who constantly, I'm happy to talk about my job. I know that it can be unique to people, and I'm thrilled to chat about it. But if it's someone who wants to like get the gossip about the people that I work with, I step away from that as well, because I'm not gossiping about my friends at work. That's not how that's going to work. So I can figure out quickly if it's like, do you want to be friends with Katie Collett, the person that Katie Collett on TV, or do you want to actually be like friends with Katie Collett, who, while she's a news anchor, she's also a wife and a mom and someone who's trying to control her corgi on a regular basis? Which version do we want? Because if it's the wife, mom, corgi version who just also happens to be a news anchor, I'm down. But you do have to kind of find, like, why do you want to be friends with me? For what reason?
Oh, good. That is so good. And there's so much wisdom in that. And I mean, because I know I'm a mess. So you meet Ashley McDougall, the realtor, or the person that shows up for Women to Women. You have no idea Ashley McDougall, the chicken wrangler, because she decided to get more chicken and let him out. And I'm chasing around my chicken for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like, literally about to cry, and thought about, I remember I was like, you don't need 4 chicken, because I got 3 of them back in the kit, but I was like, I don't need 4 chicken. One's fine. What, you know what? God knew I didn't. It's okay. I'm like talking myself into letting this chicken die in my backyard. And I'm like, that's a mess. And like, if you have to truly want to be my friend to hear that story, because it's absolutely ridiculous. So
Can I say, though, to your point, Katie, I think we all deal with that in our own relative life, in what we do professionally and personally, where you have to identify those that are, approaching you of what is the intent? What is the intent? Also recognizing everybody obviously is looking to grow and develop personally and professionally. So there's always going to be some sort of intent, right? But making sure that it's authentic and genuine, and not being sought out for, malice or not good intent. So,
or some kind of return.
Here, I'm certain you deal with that frequently with what you do for a living. But it's also something all of us can relate to, because it happens to us all in our regular day lives in regards to whatever circles you do move in.
Right. And I think we are all inherently good, and we want to help people. And I mean, we all love people, right? Yeah. So, I want to be friends with everybody, but it needs to be an authentic, true friendship, and not a friendship where, there's a quid pro quo with it.
Right.
Yeah. And I do want to speak to the ones that are the other side, that they do have, some type of motive behind the relationship. There's a place for them, but it's with proper boundary.
Correct.
And so, and I think for me growing up, I just was like, if you're not authentic, you're not in my life. And I've had to learn as I matured, that there's a place for those people, but it has to be in this box, and they can't come over here, because this is my private, my people. And so, and there's different boundary, I think, also with different seasons of life and different places in life. So, like, boundary with friends and boundary with coworkers is much different than, neighbors or people at church. Or so I think there's a lot to be said, and that's a lot to handle as a woman. Like, you've done all this stuff, and now you got to think about boundaries, and it's like, good grief,
I'm in a stage right now where, with my son, we are one and doneers. We have one shot with this. And I know that even if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, you have one shot with each of those kids, right? So it's like, we always have one shot. And I love to go out with my friends and with my husband, and we love to socialize. But there are times where, my friends will say, and we'll go to things that's adults only. We're not the type of people where if kids can't come, we're like, oh, absolutely not, we're not going. But there are times when it is an adults only party on the weekend. Sorry, the weekend is when I get a whole day with my son, and I'm gonna do that instead. And I I always want I want my friends to, keep inviting me to your stuff because there are times that I'll be able to go and that I do want to come. But right now he's 12. So we probably have like 6 years left before he goes to college, whatever he does. I hope he goes to college. And then he's gone. And it's like, then I'm going to have all of these weekends where we can do anything. I'll hit you up for a happy hour. We can go out on the weekend. That's great. But, if you're going to have a party and he can't come, which is totally fine, I may not come to that one because this particular weekend, I want to be able to spend quality time with my kiddo while he is still a kiddo. So, you have to figure out those boundaries as well. Speaking of the seasons of life that we're in, like this is my mom's season of life, my mom season of a younger kid where I can just enjoy this phase. And he's so fun. And I do want to be able to be around him and spend time with him while I can. Because once you're a parent, life goes in fast forward. It is the strangest thing that I've ever experienced to be like, he was born and now he's 12. Like 12 years just flew. And it sounds so like people are like, oh, they say that all the time. But I mean, I feel like as parents, like it goes so fast. So, you just in this particular phase of life, I'm in the phase of just trying to enjoy my son because I know that I don't get him for much longer.
Yeah. I think most of us can relate to that. I think that's exactly what it is when you're in raising your children. It's a different phase than when your children are off to college. It's a season of life and those that you're able to connect with in that time. And then also make space for those that aren't in that season.
Yeah.
It's balance, right?
Yes, very much so.
I'll tell you, you're speaking my love language because I have no problem saying no. And the reason why is because I am on the other end of that now. So I see the results of my son was a wrestler all through high school. He wrestled in college. He graduated in May. And I'll tell you, middle school's fast. I remember middle school. It felt like middle school was fast.
Yeah.
Then he went to high school. We're at high school orientation. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, he's going to school with full on women. Like these girls look like grown-ups. And then I remember it was prom. And then I'm at his college graduation. So
Oh my
I
goodness.
took last year and I said, listen, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to press the gas pedal on my real estate, but I really want to step back. I don't want to miss wrestling. My youngest was a junior in high school. So we were starting the college thing with him I just had to say no. And I think what's important is friends with grace. Friends that's like, you know what? I get it. She's got soccer and because Nicole, you're just as crazy and busy as I was last year.
Well, I have a daughter in travel softball. And speaking of what Ashley said, me and Ashley can go 2 weeks without speaking because I've been at back-to-back weekend away tournaments and she would, up until just recent, was at wrestling matches. It didn't mean when we finally connected was, why haven't we spoke? There was it was almost like no time had lapsed. We just picked up where we left off and speaking to exactly what she's saying, there's grace of like, we're in busy seasons, even though different, mine being the age they are at a different place than hers, but she knows where I am. I know where she is. We give space to each other and we connect when we can.
Yeah. And then it's like, you just immediately catch right back up.
Correct.
Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. That's what friendship is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One day we'll be in the nursing home together and we won't leave each other's side. So until then, right? So we'll be in the gardening club together one day. So
that's so true.
And then I'll be mad if we don't talk for 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
That would, great. So I have to ask this one last question. I know I don't want to take too much of your time because I know you have a busy rest of your day. She has to pick her son up from basketball camp as we're talking about all of our mom stuff. So we are actually on our way. Well, my husband, not me, is going to Clemson University today to pick up my son from camp. So I get it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We're all, like we said 700 times, we're all in 500 directions, always. Business women with some type of, platform or something that's going on. And then we're moms and then we're friends and then we have dogs.
and
And
cats.
then also dogs.
And some of us chickens. All right. So here's my question.
Yes.
When you are getting ready to have a big like appearance or you're getting ready to have a big story and it's like one of those ones you're like, this is it. I'm going to nail it. What is your one song you listen to pump you up?
Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. For stories, before them, I don't listen to music to pump me up. I listen to just silence because then I can fully get myself in the zone for that story. Because especially for me now, it's not necessarily one story, it's a whole newscast. So like if it's a big breaking news day, I really kind of go into it in silence so I don't scramble my brain. But I am very much so a 90s, early 2000s hip hop and R&B girly.
Oh, now we're
So
talking.
I listen to a lot of Tupac, Biggie, Dre. I listen to like Destiny's Child from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like Jay-Z and Beyonce were my Taylor and Travis.
Yeah.
I feel as
Yes.
though if social media was around when Jay-Z and Beyonce were dating, they would be Taylor and Travis now.
That is
Um,
wisdom. That is
right?
90s wisdom right there.
They were my people. I would
When did you
listen.
graduate? What is your?
I graduated high school in 99.
So did I. I'm a 99. So when you were just saying all that, I'm like, that was my trajectory. And
That
it
was
made me think
it.
Ashley and I and our girlfriend Crystal, we had an adult, and Amber had an adults weekend away. And we had a night where we played 90s hip hop and just danced in her living room in the Outer Banks, just having a great time singing all those. Every song you just listened was fun.
I do.
And
I
we had the
listened to-
best time.
I listened to a lot of Bone Thugs and Harmony. I went to
that was
when
my
Bone Thugs,
first.
right?
It's something.
When when Bone Thugs came to Norfolk, oh my gosh, it was a few years ago. I went with my friends Shamika and Devin, and it was so funny because they performed at the Norva, and then behind the Norva is this restaurant. So we met at the restaurant first.
I
and we were
remember
eating at
that.
the restaurant, and we were walking in to the concert. And to get to the concert area, you have to walk through this bar. So we went from the restaurant through this bar. And when we're walking by, one of the guys said, "That looks like Katie Collett." And the other guy said, "Katie Collett wouldn't be going to a Bone Thugs concert." And we started laughing because, sir, if you only knew the music that I listened to growing up.
Yeah.
But I played basketball and, like I said, basketball, volleyball, high jump. And that was the stuff that got me pumped up. Like I'm alone in my basketball in the sticks in my driveway, and I'm listening to Warren G's new album or Jay-Z's new album. And that's all of the stuff that got me hyped. Oh, Regulators is my
Oh, that's my favorite.
I will rap
sang that song that night too. You should
Man.
have seen us. We look like a bunch of lunatics. Us, their husbands. I
Yeah.
had the best time
right.
singing. Those
It
are
was
just
so fun.
great songs.
Yes.
And then
they're all
Amber-
good songs.
We're all like having this night of like epic 90s. And our girlfriend Amber has a no-sew blanket wrapped around her like a cape. So 40. What's happening right now?
So great. Yeah.
So, and then we were all like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to go to bed.
Right. Right. As we put away our 90s, 2000s hip hop
Yes.
and R&B, we're like
Yeah.
9 o'clock bedtime. Bye y'all.
Yes.
But yeah,
Well,
it's going to be any type of music from that genre. I don't really necessarily have one, but those are my go-to if I'm really trying to get pumped up. If my husband and I go to a ton of events together. He speaks at events, I speak at events, and we'll go. And it's just, that is when we DJ in the car, whichever one of us is driving, whoever's not driving is the VJ. And it's always our go-to. It's that music or Hamilton.
Oh, that's
what
so
we play.
fun. Also good though. Well, listen, before we let you go, where can we find your podcast? Where
the
can we
pod-
listen?
Yes. So Parenting Unscripted airs on WAVY Plus, which is a streaming platform. Right now, it can be found on Roku, Apple Plus, and Fire TV. We're
Okay.
working to expand that so you can see it more. But it's really fun. It's really just a place where you can go and hear conversations with new dads, new moms, mom and baby nurses, labor and delivery nurses. And we just talk all things parenting. I've talked to some of my friends, like some of my really close friends have been on the podcast. My husband's been on, my mom has been on. And it's just been really, really enjoyable to be able to have the conversations that we've had about parenting. And it's just kind of like a little soft place to land where you can laugh about a lot of things. Because gosh, if you don't have a sense of humor, best of luck being a parent. You have to be able to laugh.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. You must.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. But
All right.
it's a lot of work to put into the podcast and getting it. It's a 24-minute show. And I record it right after I'm done anchoring 4.5 hours of news in the morning. So it's a lot of work, but it's so worth it because the conversations are really fun and they're really great.
Yeah. I can imagine it makes your listeners and yourself feel normal because everybody's navigating this in their own way. So, well,
So
thank
much
you
so.
so much for your time today. I know
Of
your time
course.
is valuable. We are so excited for this to get out to our ladies. We have some very, very committed listeners. So it'll be so fun to get this out to them. And we just really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me. I was really touched. I love being able to do stuff like this. So I'm really glad we could meet up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.